Hello and welcome to Business Edition. In this program, we'll be looking to see the development of the real estate business and in particular, online real estate business. We'll also be finding out why Tanzanians find it so difficult to appreciate the current fall in fuel prices. And in the Entrepreneur today, we meet someone who's in the tour operating business. My name is Yvonne Msemebo. Welcome to Business Edition. In this program, among the issues we're focusing on is real estate and in particular online real estate. And to talk about this, I have with me the Managing Director of Lamudi, Mustafa Suleimanji. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much for having me. What Lamudi does is we provide an online platform for agents, for investors, for developers to advertise their properties online and connect you to a wide range of buyers. And we connect you through complex algorithms and Google searches, and we ensure that you have complete transparency on searching property in Tanzania.
What is it about Tanzania that you decided, okay, this is a place where we want to set up business, let's go and invest in Tanzania?
Recently in Tanzania, we've seen a large increase in investment, a lot of activity in the economy. And we're realizing that there's also an increasing middle class, and I think people's desires all over the world are quite similar, where they want to live in a nice place, live close to work, live in a safe environment, and now they have disposable income to spend. And in Tanzania, we feel like this market is growing. And the market that's growing is also very fluent with technology. So before even contacting dalalis or agents, they want to check online and find out what's going on. And this is what Lamudi provides, is a platform for people to come and see what's in the market, what's available, what they can buy, what they can afford. And if they're interested in something, they can contact the agent or the seller directly from our website. So we, in fact, just connect buyers and sellers together, and in the hope of eventually formalizing a highly informal market in Tanzania, which
okay, let's look at the real estate market in Tanzania. What is your assessment of it? We know there's been a lot of construction right now, but when we look at real estate, what is the situation right now? How do you feel?
Overall, I definitely feel the market is growing. It's growing and it's strong. There's a lot of land available. There's a lot of projects. There's a lot of activity in the real estate market. There's a lot of construction, as you've seen in Upanga, and also now starting in the Mbezi sides, speaking specifically of Dar es Salaam. And then, of course, in Tanzania, you have many projects in the north, in Tanga, in the south, close to Mbeya. But what I definitely see recently is a little bit of a cooling off period, where a lot of properties, a lot of buildings have now come live, and a lot of apartments are available. And from our website, from our statistics, we see there's a very large increase in rental in apartments. Most people are looking for apartments to rent, and of course there is also a high demand for land, as there always will be in every economy. So what we're seeing here is rental prices are slowly reducing. Whether this is temporary or not, I'm not sure, but I do feel now the real estate market in Tanzania is maturing, where in the beginning there was a growth, there was a construction boom, there was a high demand, so obviously the rent was very high. But now I feel it's slowly calming down, and eventually we'll reach a nice constant where people will be able to afford good housing.
When we look at online real estate business, is Tanzania ready for it right now? And who are you targeting?
Tanzania is definitely ready for online business, whether it's in real estate, whether it's on online shopping, whether it's food deliveries. Tanzania is ready for people to come online and do business. We target, in terms of buyers, we target everyone, but the buyers that we focus on are the growing middle class, and people that are interested in investing and renting apartments. In terms of our suppliers, we contact agents. We contact developers, and we reach out to as many interested dalalis as we can, because I definitely do believe dalalis in Tanzania are really undervalued. They have a lot of resource. They have a lot of knowledge of what's going on in Tanzania, and they're still not connected to this growing middle class. So I think what Lamudi would like to do, and what we are doing, is we're training Dalalis regularly to advertise their properties on our website, create your shop, and formalize your informal business. I mean, what's happening in Tanzania at the moment, and I think what has been for a while, is the real estate market in Tanzania is very informal. And there's a lot of problems in terms of, 5 Dalalis or 5 agents per apartment or per house, or we're not sure who the owner of the lands are, and there are a lot of issues in Tanzania that are quite informal. And I think what Lamudi also is trying to do is to formalize this informal market, where we allow Dalalis to be transparent. So if you go visit a Dalali, for example, looking for an apartment, he can give you a business card and say, just check my listings on Lamudi. And then you'll be able to call me directly from the website, and it allows them to. In a way, it gives them identity. So for me, my passion is trying to figure out this Dalali issue and try get them online. And of course, our very valuable clients are the agents that we have on board as well.
What do you think is lacking? What are the challenges that you'd like to see addressed?
One of the major challenges that I find that Tanzania does not have a real estate, like a real estate association, a government-backed association that allows agents, Dalalis, developers, and anyone interested in like real estate to meet once a month and talk about these issues. In fact, Lamudi is spearheading the creation of this agency now, where we feel it's important for agents to meet once a week. To meet at least once a month, and discuss about what's going on. Hash out your problems. Any issues that are going on in the real estate sector, let's deal with it. Let's deal with commission issues. Let's deal with giving the buyer the fairest transaction as you can. And even in Lamudi, we could come to a point where we only subscribe people who are part of this real estate association. So we sort of form this club. This is one of the main crucial factors that I think, or the crucial components that is missing in this real estate puzzle in Tanzania.
The issue of pricing and competition in this industry.
I'm a very strong believer that the market will drive the prices. Yes, Tanzania did have, for a brief period, Dar es Salaam specifically had very high prices.
Extremely high.
Extremely high prices. It was quite shocking, but that's because of speculation. We had the news of oil and gas. We have strong commodities. We have a growing economy that's slowly transferring to the manufacturing sector. So of course, people anticipate high real estate when your economy is doing quite well, and Tanzania is growing. I'm not sure of the exact figure, but I think it was approximately 7 to 8% of GDP. So yeah, but then as apartments come into effect and houses are available and land is bought, you realize that there's an increase in supply, and the prices will eventually go down. Whether I feel we should control the prices is really not for me to say. All Lamudi does is provide a platform for people, and it's up to the agents and the landowners to determine the prices. What
are your feelings, or how the trend, do you think, in the real estate business? Who are we targeting? Is it retail? Are we looking at public buildings? What is the focus right now, though? What is driving this industry right now?
My advice to developers and to investors in Tanzania would be to number one, invest in apartments. We see a high demand in our search statistics of people looking for apartments to rent. So this is one area where I feel would be a good bet, and another would be spaces for retail and consumers, which is also lacking in Dar es Salaam, and also other urban centers in Tanzania are shopping centers, outdoor shopping centers.
Welcome back to Business Edition, and now on the Entrepreneur today I have with me Mary Kalikawe, and she's the Managing Director of Kiroyera Tours. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
It's a higher name. Maybe you can tell us, what does this mean, Kiroyera?
Kiro means a day, maybe a dark day, and Yera means to become white. So actually the meaning is turn the dark day bright.
Okay.
So it's like, yeah, if people didn't know about tourism, that way back when we started in Bukoba, we took it that people didn't understand what tourism is, and the company had come to remove the darkness and bring in light.
How did you venture into this tourism industry, particularly in the tour operating business?
Yes, I was working in Botswana at the time, and I had been doing education in the past. So during my employment there, I ended up working in the Department of Tourism. And at that time, that's when Botswana was starting to develop its tourism industry, and it was really quite vibrant. Actually, at that time, a lot of inputs and people coming in to do studies, and I participated in that. And so it gave me a lot of strength and growth. So after I participated in that, I think it was at the time when Bukoba was also had gone through the tragedy of the MV Bukoba and the sinking at that time in the late 90s. And I had been taken by people not being able to be shown what is Lake Victoria. The ship had sunk in Lake Victoria, but there was even library photos had little specks of a ship, and to me it was the second largest lake in the whole world. People don't know it. There's nothing that can come out to the public. So that told me I need to go back there and put Bukoba on the map and Lake Victoria. So as I said, it's that made me, now from the knowledge I had on tourism and my thinking of Botswana is such a dry country. It's just a plate of sand. Sometimes it's called a plate of sand. There were many tourists coming in, and I could see how it was happening. And I knew Bukoba had so much. It's green, it's lush, it's lovely. It's got rivers, valleys, so many things. And just between the Serengeti and the gorillas in Uganda. And yeah, to me, I thought Bukoba should be, had good potential for tourism.
How did you start to set it up?
I had some money because I was working as an expatriate. So I had been paid some of the money I had, and it wasn't much because I had to do many other things again. Yeah. But then for what I remained with, I was able to establish myself in Bukoba. And at that time, my parents, my late mother was still there, and my father, and they had a shop that they had taken in the middle of the town in Bukoba, and they managed to give me part of it. So I established my office right next to the market where everybody passes, and it was easy. So I had an office. I managed to equip it, put in tables and computer, and also employ some staff. It was easy to get staff because some of them are just my relatives who were like happy to come and see this new thing, and they joined me. So with the staff and the ideas that were coming in, we established the operations procedures. We established how to market ourselves, and we also went out looking for attractions, how to reach them. We knew there were waterfalls. There was an island just next to the shore. There is the people, the culture itself, and women who cook, in the villages.
There's a lot to see.
So there's a lot to see. There were people who smelt iron, but then now getting to them, talking to the village elders so they understand what it is when we come with white people, and what it is. So we started with getting the administration to understand what it's all about. And slowly, so people understood us, and we started now taking the first.
Interest is coming from where? Who's interested in going to Bukoba right now? Which countries?
There is Australians who have opened a school in Katoke, and they have been coming from Australia, and they know about us, and so they come to our office, and for a long time they have been our clients, they are visitors, the people who come to work with them. We have Greeks, some churches, people who come for churches. Like as churches, you get a variety of people. They have annual meetings sometimes, which happen in Bukoba. So you get people from all over the world coming in. But then we have been lucky that with our business model, people who market tourism have got to like us as Kiroyera. So in those Bibles, like books like The Lonely Planet, where almost many people who want to come to tour in Africa or other places, they will go to The Lonely Planet to find out where where to go, where to stay, what they will see. And it's surprising that even in a book of East Africa, Kiroyera still appears. You might find that it might mention only maybe 10 companies, but then Kiroyera always there. We have The Lonely Planet, we have got The Brand's Guide, we have got other books from Germany, from even Australia. They have us in their books. So that has made people know us. So they call us from where they are. They want to transfer on the boat from Uganda. They want to cross over to go to Serengeti. Others are coming from Rwanda. And so they call on us and they want to know where we can take them. And there is also a good number of young students who come as interns, as volunteers, as maybe doctors. So they come to Bukoba to do some work. And for them, they have little money, so they can only do small tours. But then many times their relatives, their friends, their parents want to come as well. And those ones, they are ready to pay, ordinary, good.
So there is a growing domestic market as well.
And then the domestic market is also growing, and there has been a lot of effort to take people to like Rubondo Island National Park, which is not far from Bukoba.
What are the challenges that you face that you still think that need to be addressed by the government? Because there's some parts of the country, particularly in Arusha, they've been complaining about some of the constraints they've been facing. Is this something that you still feel that needs to be addressed in parts like Bukoba as well?
One of them is the understanding of people. Really, we as Africans, I would say, I don't know, I haven't done a survey in the rest of Africa, but I know we in Tanzania, very few people understand what tourism is all about. Not only knowing what tourism is all about, even knowing what business is. I can admit, even myself, understanding what business is and how to handle things the business way, that is a challenge. And I feel that it could be very important that associations and government can only come through associations and even others' assistance. If people who work in businesses like tourism and in other businesses can always come together and work out a way of being able to increase their knowledge and understanding of how to market ourselves. We should be able to market ourselves. Go to trade fairs. And if the amount of cost that goes into going to a trade fair, and then you come back with all those business cards, and they end up being just a lump there, and you are already taken into other things. So those things, the things that you should be able to understand, that this is where you should be doing what you should be doing. So knowledge, understanding, and technology is very, very important. Much as that is all about we as entrepreneurs ourselves. Maybe I should be speaking for myself. We need to understand technology and how important it is. There is webinars, being able to link up with all those international forums that are coming in. I'm a member, I'm a mentee on the Cherry Blair Foundation, and that one has opened me up so much, because then you are linked to the rest of the world and women of the world who are doing business. You can ask questions. You have a mentor, someone who is anywhere around the world, talking to you, Skyping, talking about your business, you showing your objectives, being able to follow them up with your mentor, seeing that you are actually following up. By the end of the year, you have made this achievement.
Welcome back to Business Edition, and now we're going to try and find out why, despite the continued trend of fuel prices in the global market going down, in Tanzania we're still complaining that we don't really feel this drop in the fuel prices. So with me to explain more about this, I have with me the Director General of Energy and Water Utilities Regulatory Authority, EWURA, Mr. Felix Ngalamgosi. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Why are we still complaining that the prices are not going down as much as we expect them to?
The local market, meaning the local prices in Tanzania, have indeed been falling since last September. It commensurate to the price changes in the world market. The only difference here is that people should know that the timing, when you hear petroleum prices in the world market today, doesn't mean you have a reflecting or a corresponding prices falling tomorrow. Why is it happening like that? Because the reason is that there are two reasons. One is that the world prices which we hear in media, prices in the world market falling, mostly those are prices for crude oil. We don't import crude oil. We import refined oil. So crude oil prices will go certain processes. Number one process will be refining. Number two process will be, now for a country like Tanzania, purchasing the volumes that we want. And that takes time. And number three will be transportation of that product, a refined product, from the refinery plant to the loading port in Dar es Salaam. That gives a gap of not less than 1 month. This, the reason why in Tanzania we agreed with the stakeholders that the pricing methodology which we use in Tanzania for petroleum products is that you take M-1, meaning 1 month. If we are talking about prices in January, then the corresponding petroleum prices in the world market is January minus December. So it is the prices which prevail in the world market in November that will affect prices in January. So that has to be appreciated. And it is a fundamental issue. You cannot change that because you have a gap for processing of that crude oil, for transportation of that refined oil until you reach the port of Dar es Salaam. So that M-1 for prices in January, for example, prices that affect us effective today, they have been influenced by prices in the world market of refined products of November 1st up to the end of November. So that gap has to be appreciated. But again, as long as the other factor which is very important, and that is the exchange rate, stability of the exchange rate between the Tanzanian shillings and the dollar remains stable. That's where you can feel the impact. The pump price, which you see, a consumer, which the price which you buy petroleum products at pump level, is a consolidation, is a total, is a sum of many other things. You have the FOB changing in the world market, but that constitutes only 60%, about 60% of the total pump price. The other 40% are like fixed costs, and these include transportation costs, freight and premiums, costs related to transportation, distribution, taxes. These are fixed costs per liter. So those will always reduce the proportion of decrease of prices in the world market when compared to the proportion of decrease of prices in the local market. Because of that factor that you have almost 40% of the pump price contribution being made by somehow fixed costs, including the taxes.
Okay, let's just keep praying then for the prices to go down, because I remember the last time when the prices we were enjoying the prices was when a litre of petrol was about 1,200, 1,500, That was when we could say that was a reasonable price then, but I don't think it's likely to happen, is it?
We are not sure. We don't know to which extent the world prices will continue falling. This is a unique and a very strange, trend which is happening in the world. Yeah. We continue monitoring and observing this trend. It's not something which was projected or expected by economists and other financial experts. It wasn't something that was expected to fall that deep. But let me say, for Tanzania, if you take prices in Dar es Salaam, for example, prices for petrol was far above 2,200 some few months ago. But now prices are as low as 1,846 for diesel per liter, which is a significant fall, and we should appreciate that. And what EWURA will always maintain is to uniformly and constantly use the same methodologies, whether prices are going down or going up, so that you pass through the benefits to the consumers, benefits which are happening in the world market. And it works the same way if prices were to go up. And this has been the trend for the past 2 years. And the formula or the methodology which we are using is very transparent. you add cost as you move until you reach a point where you say this is the pump price. And we think that has helped a lot the consumers, but has also contributed a lot to make sure that operators are not financially affected by these fluctuations.
Well, that's it from me, Yvonne and Semembo. Until next week, same time, it's goodbye from Business Edition.